concerned about. We can't let these early quantum devices get into the wrong hands because a quantum computer can crack any common cryptographic scheme that we use right now. So any password hashing scheme that we commonly use now, it would be able to crack it in seconds. So it could be a very bad tool if it got into the hands of hackers early on.
Is it possible that agencies like the NSA, CIA, FBI, and even the Department of Defense are already using quantum computers?
They're definitely funding the research, and the NSA is the number one entity right now that is building a quantum computer. I think their funding is actually outstripping Google, and they want it precisely so they can crack basically any type of encryption. They'll be able to read anything, see anything, and we are thinking that we're just months away from them developing that computer if it's not finished already. So that's the NSA. Now, let's see. Right now we have error correcting and non-error correcting memory that we use in our computers. With quantum computers, they found a way to have error correcting quantum memory, and it uses basically this error correcting memory uses something called a qubit, which is a quantum bit that can be a 0 or a 1 simultaneously. Wow. And it's actually pretty neat stuff.
So, Corey, compared to the size of, let's say, a regular desktop tower, how big will a quantum computer be?
That's a good question. That is the big unknown. The ones that exist right now are pretty large, even though they can fit so much in a small space. I think, though, in the future, they'll be very tiny. But right now, the ones that are out there are pretty big.
So when it comes to the consumer, what will this do to, my gosh, the video gaming industry, the music industry?
Oh, yeah. It will allow us to send and store massive quantities of videos. It'll make that easier. Maybe some of the lag times that we see now, we won't see in the future. We can store whole collections of videos without having to worry about us running out of space. So that's pretty neat. I know they're actively trying to make gaming quantum computers, but they're saying they're still a few years off from that.
My God, can you imagine what type of simulators that these quantum computers will be able to give the airline industry? Let me see, automobile systems. And even the wartime simulation systems that are being used by the Defense Department now.
Oh, absolutely. And even right now, I've been astonished. I have spoken to several architects in the last few weeks, and they have computers with 16 gigs of RAM, which I still consider to be quite a bit. And their computers are shutting down. They can't really do all the work they want to. It's moving too slow for them. And with these new computers, we could possibly have a solution.
Exonation, Corey K is our special guest. You can visit his website at www.exonetechzone.com. We're talking about quantum computing. And Corey, where do you think the price break will be for an end user, consumer, like you and I, when it comes to purchasing these computers when they become available on the market?
In all honesty, the first ones are probably going to be $50,000 to $100,000 a pop.
Well, that rules me out.
Yeah, it is going to take a while for them to become popular enough. But hey, it might happen a lot faster than we expect because it didn't take personal computers a long time to go from $1 million to $1,000. So
I remember when the first Apples came out, Taiwan, and was very fast in cloning. Do you think that they'll also come out with the cloned version like they did with the Apple II and other computers, including the IBM desktop?
it is definitely a possibility. But I'll tell you what they're doing to help protect some of this information. Since quantum computers can crack normal encryption schemes, they're using something called a quantum repeater. And this is a lot of the work that they're doing out of Waterloo right now. They're making these quantum repeaters that actually shoot out photons and in a specific pattern, and that pattern of photons becomes the key. So you almost would have to have physical access to a device again to be able to crack it. So they're trying to protect the secrets in that way too. So
what do you think? What do you think this is going to do to the people who are developing, our favorite worms or our malware? Are they also going to be able to screw up the quantum computers like they're doing with our home computers and business computers now?
We'll have to see. I think they'll have to develop more physical devices, especially in the early days. I think quantum computers will make remote attacks less possible and more expensive. And I think right now, a hacker, even though a good hacker might have to go out and purchase different pieces of hardware to crack a quantum computer in the early days, they'll almost definitely have to have specialized hardware. So that might be a deterrent early on. We'll see.
I would imagine that a quantum server would be the dream machine for any office that has a lot of workstations attached to their servers now.
Oh, yeah. And I think what they're envisioning, the big players like IBM, Google, Apple having these early supercomputers, and these remote servers are actually going to power the workstations across the world. And we'll see if that actually comes to pass.
Fascinating. Corey, stand by, old friend. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, my good friend Corey K is with us. www.exonetechzone.com. And we're talking this segment about quantum computers, but we're also going to be talking about how to do a system restore this edition of the X-Zone Tech Zone. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And we'll be back on the other side of this news break as we continue from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget Sylvia's dream, X-Zone Nation. Help her dream turn into reality. www.sylviasdream.org. Don't go away. We'll be back after the news. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everyone. Corey K is my special guest, www.xzonetechzone.com. And Corey, I've got to tell you, friend, that was just fascinating with talking about the quantum computer that's going to be the next generation computer. It seems like I've had guests on the show where they're talking about how the computers are going to interface with humans. And I was wondering, Corey, is this what they've been waiting for, the quantum computer, in order to make this happen?
It could be. It's definitely going to accelerate the development of artificial intelligence. And what is really interesting is I think these robots that are able to interact with humans and almost emote and pick up on our emotions and learn, they'll be able to multitask more than what we've seen even in the recent past. They'll be able to interact with us and perform computations in the background, or maybe talk to us and make dinner at the same time. It's hard to say, but I think it's an absolute possibility, and quantum computers are only going to accelerate that development.
You know, you and I touched briefly last week about the integration of a computer with a human, and how there are actually people who want to have their soul, their very essence, put into a computer so they can live forever in virtual reality. And to me, that seems so wrong. Like, it's called the Frankenstein effect in my book.
It is. And what's scary is quantum theory actually gels with these theories of consciousness, where people posit that the person, the soul, lives on after death in, I don't know, in cyberspace in some cases. I think even Timothy Leary thought we would all live forever in cyberspace. And that's very much in line with how a lot of these quantum theorists think, but not always.
And that's what happens to your brain on drugs.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah. All right. So we've talked about quantum computers, and you know, it was very interesting. But Corey, let's get back to ground zero, and that's what I call my computers here at their studios. My ground zero.
Oh yeah.
And everybody dreads the day where they get that blue screen, and they have to do a system restore. Help,
That's
Corey.
right.
Help.
Oh, we can definitely help. And I would say the first thing that I should mention is you have to make sure that a system restore is the right solution for you. if it was 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago or more, I would say System Restore is your best friend always. It saved you the sometimes arduous process of reinstalling everything and starting over. But things have become more complicated now, and a System Restore